the SINO Africa NGOs Forum 2011 that we are launching today is indeed a milestone in the growing and historical ties between China and Africa. Indeed, a very important next step within the framework of FOCAC, being the first time ever that a forum of this magnitude, bringing together civil society actors from the two vast continents, is being held. It is an indication that China's interest in Africa is not just limited to trade, but also on building deep and enduring friendship with the people of Africa. I like the title, which is simply that this is a people's forum. This forum provides a unique opportunity for us to learn from each other's unique experiences and successes. Let me therefore congratulate the China NGO Network for International Exchanges and Kenya's NGO Coordination Board for organizing this very worthy forum. It has often been said by critics of FOCAC, or indeed Sino-Africa relations, that China has interests in Africa that are suspect. Let it be heard from the capital of this country that Africa does appreciate the very, very genuine expression of friendship, not just in trade, as I've just said, but as Africa tries to build or indeed rebuild our infrastructure. You have just heard from the representative of the African Union Commission, for instance, that China has helped Africa to put up a brand new headquarters for the whole of the African Commission. And this is truly tremendous. I shall personally look forward to seeing the official opening of that building in January 2012. It is indeed itself a landmark. We have heard other critics say that why is China taking so much interest in Africa? And I think this forum should come up with a very clear statement, which is simply that China is a true friend of Africa. Just like you helped us, just like China helped us as we were struggling against colonialism, so is China trying to help Africa meet the challenges of the Millennium Development Goals. We have had a message from the UN Secretary General Ban Ki-moon that we have just under 4 years to be able to meet the targets that we set before ourselves. Therefore, I personally applaud the relationship between Africa and China. Indeed, many African countries have taken the very principled position to support the One China policy. We on our part as a country have always advocated that position unequivocally, very clearly, I'm sure, to the great benefit and relations between our two countries. Ladies and gentlemen, I wish to assure you of government's commitment to ensure a healthy and vibrant civil society that is able to mobilize citizens' participation in all aspects of development. This commitment is based on our recognition of the civil society as partners in national development. Indeed, a valued partner to the delivery of the Millennium Development Goals and Kenya's Vision 2030. Vision 2030 makes explicit provision for the participation of civil society in realizing our country's short-term and long-term goals. In addition to our Constitution, our Constitution, undoubtedly one, we believe, of the most progressive in the world, grants elaborate civil liberties and freedoms that provide civil society with unique opportunities to make contribution to national development. However, the enjoyment of freedoms comes with responsibility. I know that the civil society space, particularly in this country, has had very many actors, that there have been issues to do with integrity, because the old saying that he who pays the piper calls the tune is actually been true. We need at this forum to be able to come out clearly on the funding of the NGOs that are mushrooming, not just in Kenya, but all over Africa. So be able to isolate those that might be used to work against the interest of the African people. I believe that this forum between China and Africa is one that is going to open serious discussion on this very important matter. It is therefore imperative that in the exercise and enjoyment of individual rights and freedoms, we also recognize and respect other people's freedoms. Civil liberties do not preclude us from our responsibility to observe other laws as well as remain accountable to each other. Further, and in view of the newfound freedoms, public expectation is at an all-time high, thereby putting pressure on the civil society to remain vigilant in safeguarding public interest. I wish therefore to encourage NGOs to rise up to the challenge that comes with expanded democratic space. Indeed, I trust that the sector has what it takes to play its role, granted that in this country it continues to make significant contribution to the development within not just Kenya but the region. For instance, NGOs regulated by the NGOs Coordination Board has spent some 130 billion Kenya shillings in the financial year 2009-2010. This money was spent on projects in key development sectors such as HIV and AIDS struggle, in agriculture, water and sanitation, and education. In addition, NGOs operating from Kenya continue to offer a lifeline to communities in neighboring states, such as in Southern Sudan. Indeed, in the case of Southern Sudan, there used to be an NGO by the very title of a lifeline, which was Lifeline Southern Sudan, Somalia, and the Democratic Republic of Congo. 20% of NGOs registered in Kenya are international, most of which are involved in providing services in the Horn of Africa, the Great Lakes, and as far as the West African region. The Kenya government will therefore ensure the continued existence of an adequate policy, legislative, and regulatory framework for the regulation and enablement of the NGO sector. It is for this reason that the government seeks to support the NGOs Coordination Board to review the NGOs Act of 1990 to make it be able to respond to the emerging needs of a vibrant NGO sector and concurrently ensure that it is in compliance with the provisions of the new constitution. And while we do so, I wish to urge NGOs to respect the existing laws and in particular provide the NGOs Coordination Board and other relevant government departments with the necessary information on their activities to demonstrate that they are above board. As I say, transparency and accountability is applicable to all of us in the civil society as well as those of us in government. As I conclude, ladies and gentlemen, it is my sincere belief that this forum will make a significant contribution to a true and mutually beneficial friendship between China and Africa